Democracy must not be a spectator sport.
Because freedom cannot protect itself.
Legality
Is a construct of the powerful,
and not of justice. Apartheid was legal.
Slavery was legal.
Colonialism was legal.
Legality was a matter of power,
not justice. Two Aboriginal men
tried to apply Section 33 and Section 36
of Victoria's Bill of Rights
against the state of Victoria,
the Attorney General and Victoria Police,
for an interpretation of the Charter and other laws, and, or
declaration of inconsistent interpretation according to the Charter and human rights.
Their failure to do so has led to
continued deaths in custody, and offshore detentions. The Aboriginal men were unrepresented litigants.
According to common law precedents of Justice Bell,
it is the duty of the presiding judge to assist unrepresented litigants.
Instead, the Star Chambers of J. Forrest J.
Genevieve Neal, Anna Day and others
conspired to vilify them as abuse of process,
aiding and abetting further deaths in custody, including Miss Do in Western Australia,
and breaching Victoria's Bill of Rights.
Your inalienable right to be heard in a court of law
by competent, independent, and impartial court, or tribunal,
after a fair and public hearing.
A nobody that you are.
You have the power to change the system,
one ripple at a time.
Setting people up to fail,
and when they do fail,
allowing Peter Dutton and his mates to label people
inferior,
depriving access to health, education, employment,
access to courts and judicial process.
Is it too much legal waffle for you?
Corrupt judges and pretend judges for the last 20 years
have perverted the rule of law and Victoria's Bill of Rights.
They have aided and abetted Victoria Police
in the death of Mr. Gonglingtang,
when they threw the sick man out of Dandenong Police Station.
How many other deaths in or out of custody are not reported? The corrupt judges have created uncertainty in law
and unsafe convictions,
unlawful racial discrimination
and unlawful racial vilification,
depriving access to health, education, employment,
and access to courts and judicial process.
This political game of thrones, for power and greed,
with the lives of men, women and children,
is a direct attack on the separation of powers,
whereby the politicians, like Peter Dutton, appoint the judges to do their bidding.
And any judge or tribunal member can have their employment terminated at the whim of the government.
Arbitrary and capricious interpretation of the laws
allows politicians to stack the deck against peoples they deem undesirable, from unsafe convictions,
and returning to death and torture via refuelment.
The jealousy attacks on neurosurgeon Dr. Charlie Teo
is indicative of the institutionalized racism
that puts immigrants and minorities, asylum seekers and refugees, at risk of hardship, suffering, and death.
But it is the independent broad-based Anti-Corruption Commission Committee
who refuses to publish submissions in order to assist cover-ups
that is the enemy of democracy. Democracy must not be a spectator sport. Because freedom cannot protect itself.